One day, every human brain will experience its final moment. But what actually happens inside your brain during those final moments? Scientists have uncovered fascinating clues, but many questions remain unanswered. Some of the brain's most important changes happen within just seconds. At first, your brain tries to keep itself alive. Every passing second becomes critically important. Then, something remarkable begins to happen. It's one of the greatest mysteries in neuroscience. Let's separate what scientists have observed from what is still unknown. Everything begins when the brain stops receiving the oxygen it depends on. The moment oxygen stops reaching the brain, everything begins to change. Although your brain is only about 2% of your body weight, it consumes around 20% of your oxygen. Without oxygen, every second becomes incredibly important. The brain's nerve cells begin losing the energy they need to communicate. The electrical signals that allow you to think and move begin to weaken. Your brain immediately tries to adapt and protect itself. It's almost like the brain switches into an emergency mode. But without oxygen, its energy reserves quickly begin to run out. The first minute is one of the most critical periods the brain can experience. Then, according to some scientific observations, the brain may briefly produce an unusual burst of activity. And what that could mean is truly astonishing. Some scientific studies suggest that in certain cases, the brain may briefly produce a sudden burst of activity. Researchers were surprised to detect unusually organized brain signals in some rare observations, but what those signals actually mean is still unknown. Scientists are still researching this phenomenon, and there is no confirmed explanation. Some researchers have wondered whether the brain could be rapidly processing memories, but this remains a scientific hypothesis, not a proven fact. For now, every new discovery raises even more questions. One thing is certain: the brain remains active for a short time even after the heart has stopped. But perhaps the biggest mystery isn't the brain itself, it's consciousness. What happens to our awareness during those final moments? That's where the science becomes even more fascinating. Some people have experienced clinical death and then returned. Clinical death usually means the heart has stopped beating and blood is no longer circulating. But clinical death is not the same as brain death. They are different medical conditions. After recovering, some people report vivid memories from that experience. Some describe seeing an intense light, while others report completely different experiences. Importantly, not everyone reports these experiences. Scientists continue studying these reports, but there is no single explanation accepted by everyone. Some researchers believe these experiences may be related to brain activity during extreme stress. For now, the mystery remains unsolved. But what scientists discovered about the brain's final electrical activity may be even more surprising. And that's where our journey continues. Even as the brain begins shutting down, electrical activity doesn't stop instantly. Your thoughts, memories, and emotions all depend on tiny electrical signals. In some studies, researchers observed a final wave of activity spreading across the brain. This wave appears to move through large areas of the brain before activity fades. Researchers are still investigating exactly why this happens. These signals are not proof that conscious awareness continues. Scientists simply don't know. Could these final signals simply be the brain shutting down, or something more? Today, no one can answer that question with certainty. The human brain remains one of the greatest scientific mysteries ever studied. And what researchers discovered about memories during life's final moments may surprise you even more. Have you ever heard someone say, "My whole life flashed before my eyes"? Is that actually possible or just a myth? Scientists have been investigating this question for decades. Your memories are stored across enormous networks of neurons. Throughout your life, your brain stores millions of experiences. Could many of those memories become active in just a few seconds? Right now, science has no definitive proof that an entire life flashes before the eyes. But some people who survived life-threatening events describe experiences that felt remarkably similar. Extreme stress can dramatically change how the brain processes information. But what scientists discovered about dying brain cells is even more shocking, and it completely changed what researchers thought they knew. Your brain doesn't simply switch off like turning off a light. Instead, it goes through a series of complex biological stages. Every brain cell depends on a constant supply of energy to survive. Without fresh oxygen and nutrients, that energy begins to disappear. One by one, communication between neurons starts to fail. Gradually, more areas of the brain become electrically silent. What begins in one region can trigger changes throughout the brain. The human brain is the most complex organ ever discovered, and even its final moments are incredibly organized. Every new study helps scientists understand a little more about this remarkable process. But one recent discovery completely surprised neuroscientists, because it suggested the brain may stay active longer than anyone expected. Then scientists discovered something unexpected. Some brain activity continued for a short time. Researchers detected powerful gamma waves. These waves are linked to complex thinking. They're also connected to memory and awareness. But this doesn't prove consciousness continues. Scientists are still searching for answers. The brain continues to surprise researchers. One mystery still remains unsolved. So what actually happens to you? Your brain works until the very end. It contains around 86 billion neurons. Each neuron constantly sends signals. Together, they form an incredible network. It's more complex than any computer, but we still know surprisingly little. The biggest mystery is consciousness. Where does awareness actually go? Science still has no final answer. The human brain is truly extraordinary. Every second of oxygen matters. The brain is racing against time. Brain cells begin to struggle. The remaining energy is used carefully. The brain enters survival mode. Every signal becomes important. The network slowly begins to fade. These moments are incredibly important. It keeps working for as long as it can, but the biggest secret is still ahead. Your brain always tries to protect itself. Survival is always its first priority. Less important functions slow down first. The remaining energy is carefully used. Every second becomes precious. It continues working for as long as possible. The brain is an incredible machine. Researchers are still making discoveries. Many questions still have no answers, and the final answer may surprise you. But what is consciousness? No one fully understands it. Everything you experience exists inside your brain. Every sight becomes a signal. Every sound becomes information. Every memory leaves a trace. Your brain builds your reality. It never stops working. Your greatest mystery is your own mind. Now comes the final truth. Every life has a limit. Your brain is always working. Every second changes your brain. New memories form every day. New neural connections appear. Your brain constantly adapts. Every experience leaves a mark. Your story lives inside your brain. That is the real miracle. So, what should we learn from this? Life is happening right now. Every moment matters. Use your brain wisely. Never stop learning. Create unforgettable memories. Protect your brain every day. Good sleep keeps it healthy. Stay curious forever. Your brain is extraordinary. And here's the final truth. So, what really happens? It works until it can't anymore. It keeps fighting to survive. Eventually, the signals stop. Its story lives in every memory. Every moment shapes you. No brain is exactly like yours. Research continues every year. Many mysteries remain unsolved. And maybe that's what makes the human brain so extraordinary. Here's the final fact. It worked every second of your life. It saved your memories. It created your emotions. It guided your decisions. It shaped your entire life. Yet, it still hides many mysteries. Never stop being curious. Science is still discovering more. The greatest mystery isn't death. It's the incredible brain that made you who you are. Your story is still being written. Every day matters. Every choice shapes you. Your brain remembers everything important. Never stop learning. Never stop wondering. Science keeps moving forward. More discoveries are coming. The journey never ends. Thanks for exploring this mystery with us. Take one last look. This made you who you are. Every dream, every memory, every emotion started here, and it still remains a mystery. Keep asking questions. The greatest adventure is understanding yourself. The brain still holds countless secrets. Which mystery should we explore next?